Hey, what is going on? And good morning, everybody. This is David Pendleton, and I'm going to walk you through the rookie division front nine holes for the Winter Major. So, first of all, congratulations for making it this far. That is awesome. This is not easy to do to make the finals anymore, especially if you're in a tier 3 player and you're in that toughest tier within tiers, is what I call it. So, it takes a big points or a big score, I should say, to make to the final round. So good job, everybody. And I'm really excited to share my front nine with you. Now, I am playing live from a hotel today as I am traveling with my family and my daughter for her volleyball tournament this weekend. So we're very excited about that. But because of that, my time is going to be limited. I'm going to be doing rookie only this weekend, no pro. So I apologize about that. But, our family doesn't get together too often. And, I'm going to have to play pro kind of just hole by hole whenever I get time. So I won't have time to edit it and get it up and running. But, I want to say good luck to everybody. But I will have rookie fully completed here within the next few hours. And here is the front nine. So if you're not a subscriber, please become one. It would really mean a lot to me. And if you would like to, hit the thumbs up button to like the video, that would be much appreciated as well. All right, hole number one, we are going to be getting... Wrong hole, my bad. I don't know how all these holes got in here. That's all right, I know where they're at. They start right here. All right, hole number one is going to be played with headwind, right? So we're only getting 2.6 miles per hour here, which is nice because we're using a Berserker, which is only a wind resistance 1, and we're getting very low wind. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know that not everybody has a Berserker, okay? So if you don't have a Berserker, next best ball is going to be a Kingmaker, right? We want to use a Kingmaker because it's power 3 and it's wind resistance 3, meaning it'll lower the wind significantly for us. Now, you will have to use overpower, okay? You're going to keep in mind here that with the EM8 and a Berserker, I don't really need to use a lot of overpower to roll out of the rough and get onto the fairway. But I do have to use a little bit, so we're going to keep that in mind. But we have other headwind shots this week on hole number one, so this is nothing that's not familiar to us. But, of course, we're going to go with our full top spin. We're going to go with a couple bars of side spin to the right as we want to kick this ball out of the rough and to the right. 10% elevation at max distance of our club. You see here, just baby overpower for me. If you're playing with the Kingmaker, it's going to be more overpower for you, probably about half of a ball. And you just want to make sure you kick this thing out, as so. And onto the fairway for a very simple wedge shot to drop the eagle on hole number one. So we're starting off good. All right, takes us into hole number two. We're going to play this with the Katana. We're going to play this one at minimum distance with our quarterback. And, what I'm trying to do here is use some top spin and full right side spin. Now, for me, I have a fully developed quarterback, right? So I get a really good ball guideline. If you're playing with a lesser quarterback, you're not going to have the same type of ball guideline as me. However, you can use my reference point. You're going to see here that I've got my white ring very close to the rough line there where that sand lies. So I would say there's about 1 ring of room between me and the rough. You can use that for your frame of reference, and even though your ball guideline won't show like mine, it's still going to play like mine. So hopefully that makes sense. From here, I'm going to pull this one 20% at minimum distance of my club. And this ball typically always comes in, short. So that's why you're going to see me use some overpower here. This is a decent amount of overpower, but, nothing crazy. All right, so what do you need to do? We're going to stop it right here. So even though I used overpower, because where I set up, look how much room I have from the fairway to the top of the rough. I have room for a lot more overpower, okay? Now, I am going to come in just a little bit short. This is very close. Look at this. Okay, so we're missing this one by about 1/4 of a green square below the pin. Had I used a little bit more OP, we could have maybe got this one to drop. That's what I want you to do. But the thing is, if you're going to use more OP than me, you're going to have to make sure that you line up in this same area because we cannot afford our ball guideline to be close to the rough. We have to make sure it's in the middle, like mine was, in order to get away with OP on this hole. But OP is a way to drop it. It's not going to drop for everybody, of course, because this is a very random hole. It's kind of like a lottery hole, they call it. But if you look in the comments, I believe from the qualifying round, I don't remember if it was pro or rookie, but this hole plays the same either way. I did suggest some people use some higher OP, and we did have a few comments saying that the higher OP worked and they were able to drop the hole in one. So that's my thoughts on hole number 2. Tough hole in one, but it's there. All right, hole number 3 is pretty standard. We're just going to use a katana here. There's no reason to use a power 3 ball in tailwind. So here I put my yellow ring on the rough, as you can see. Now I back my target up a little bit so that my second bounce is on the fairway up there. And then my ball guideline pointing away from the rough. Of course, we do that with 3 bars of right side spin. From here, I pull 20% elevation. I am pulling at max distance. That, when you pull at max, you just want to, sorry, I almost stopped my recording there, so it threw me off. We're getting tailwind, okay? So even though I wasn't at max distance of my driver, you still saw me pull it at max. And that's just because I don't want to accidentally come up and clip the rough at all at the top here. So I decided to pull at max distance on my club. That's just a way to trick yourself to pull more rings. It's going to bring us into shot number 2. Shot number 2, we just have to make sure that we completely avoid the trees, right? So we're going to end up playing this on the right-hand side of the fairway, as you see. So you see here, I heavily favor the right-hand side of this fairway here. A little bit of curl to the right. And I did pull that one 10% at mid distance, so 10% medium distance of your club. But maybe a little bit more right curl, and we could have seen what would have happened. But overall, this is a difficult hole to pick up an albatross on, especially when we can't dial it in like we used to be able to. So we just take the eagle there and run. All right. Now, hole number 4 is played 10% at mid. I'm going to try to help you out all get the hole in one here. But you see here I have half a bar of right side spin with about 2.3 back. Now I left this one significantly short because this green runs fast. So you can see here I'm about 3 or 4 green squares short of the pin. Yeah, 4 green squares short of the pin with my red ring on the rough line. Ball guide line trying to visualize pointing at the pin. I'm a little surprised on how this ball kicked because we're getting tailwind blowing from right to left. So you would think if we were going to miss, we would miss to the left. Because at 4.4 miles an hour, that's on the higher end scale for rookie. But this ball comes in at a decent speed. We need to take about 0.2 bars of backspin off. But we really need to completely eliminate the right side spin and try to aim at the same point and see what happens. That's where I would start to try to fix this shot, okay? Now, hole number 5 is play with our quarterback like we have been all tournament. I'm using 3 bars of top spin combined with 1 bar of side spin to the right. We're going to pull this one 10% at max distance with my red ring on the rough, as so. We hit a perfect ball. I think we could have got away with 1 more bar of topspin. So if you'd like to use 1 more bar of topspin, go ahead. We just want to make sure we don't go crazy with the topspin or the overpower, which I use no overpower, because we do want to be in sniper rough bump range, which we are here. I'm at mid distance. I didn't put the mid, min, and max simply because this is going to be a hole where you really need to check your own distance. You might be at max depending on your drive if you get less yards. You might be at minimum if you decide to use 1 more bar of topspin. So, but ultimately, you want to play this one at minus 20% elevation. And you just want to get your ball guideline going into the hole as such. Now, the only problem with my shot here is I hit a great ball. And this is actually, I believe, my only great ball of the front 9. But this is a bad great, okay? And this ball still almost goes in the hole. Comes up really close. Who knows what would have happened with a perfect shot? Not 100%, but regardless, minus 20% is good elevation. You saw the speed was really good. Obviously, we just need to hit perfect and learn from there. Okay, hole number 6. Hole number 6, you don't have to use a Berserker. We are getting a flicker of Tailwind here. So if you're not going to use a Zerk, I would highly recommend that you use a Titan, all right? A Titan is going to allow you to get, good wind combined with a power 3 ball, which we need. If you have higher level clubs, you could use a Kingmaker because the wind resistance on shot 2 would be very helpful, but of course you're going to lose distance on your drive, so it's going to be a give and take on this hole. But if you do have a Berserker, then I would highly recommend that you take a Berserker to hole number 6, because you are going to be able to bomb this ball. Finally on rookie, we can get away with letting one rip on this hole, which is a big advantage. Now, we're going to pull this one here, 10% at max, and then I'm going to push my target back up to max distance, as you can see. That's because we want to get maximum distance on this shot. Here we hit another perfect ball. It's sometimes this game amazes you when you can go full OP with some curl and rip a perfect shot, but then, on my albatross opportunity for the last hole, I hit a bad grade. That's just how it goes, I guess. All right, so we bombed this ball 427 yards. If I could have a mulligan, if I could take one shot back from the front 9, this would be it, because we can make this shot for sure. Only 3 miles an hour wind with the Berserker, like that is as good of a layup as you're going to get. Oh, but I'm at minimum distance here, and when I start to adjust my backspin, my ball guideline doesn't really change, right? Look how developed it is with full backspin. So now it's because of this slope on the green. Now I have to figure out what to do, and my time is starting to go down. As you can see right now, it's already clocking on me, and I haven't even adjusted rings yet. So I left it right to the pin because we know this green slopes from right to left. And, I tried to visualize my ball bouncing into the hole, but you're going to see here that I hit a perfect ball, and this ball just dies right before the hole. So, that's one of those tough ones when you're on the fly like myself to get right. Unfortunately, just because of the way the green slopes, the ball guideline was not playing true. So learn from that. Use way less backspin and just let your ball roll into the cup instead of coming up short like I did. Wish I could have that one back, but I can't. Okay, hole number 7 is 10% at max, and this is how I would like you all to play it. I do like the Titan ball here just because it gives us the power to play a little higher up with our sniper and try to find the funnel. We do need to change this, though, to an 1159 pull angle. So if you're not familiar with pull angles, what that means is normally when you go to pull your rings, you want your wind arrow blowing exactly north. But we know the game doesn't freeze your wind arrow when you pull your rings. Your wind arrow still moves. Okay, sometimes it flickers really slow, sometimes it flickers really strong. And sometimes it flickers from north to north right only, and then north to north left only, or sometimes it just skips around between those 3. So when I say 1159 pull angle, what that means is I want you to pretend like you're reading a clock, okay? I want your wind arrow only blowing north to north left. I want you to completely eliminate any flicker from north to north right. And by doing so, that's going to help you not do what happens to me. But the spin is really good. 2 bars of right side spin combined with, just a sliver of top spin or a sliver of back spin. That's going to just depend on where you find this funnel at. But you can see I've got my ball guideline going right to the hole. Now we're going to pull this one, like I said, 10% at max. But as you can see here, I've got my wind arrow flickering in all 3 directions. And ultimately what happens is I pull this right here. You see that wind arrow? It's north to north right. That's a 1201. We cannot do that on this hole. We have to eliminate that. So you're gonna learn from my mistake here, and that's why I get caught up here on the fairway. Now this is no harm, no foul. This is still a very easy chip in to get the birdie on the hole. But if we're looking to drop this ace, we have got to change that to an 1159 pull angle. All right, and then we go into this hole. This hole's pretty simple. I'm gonna play with the Marlin here. And I'm going to try to execute a rough bump and try to pick up a hole-in-one on a par 4. But, ultimately, I don't get the hole-in-one here, but I still get onto the green. This is very simple. This is just a 10% pull at minimum distance of my extra mile. As you can see, I'm playing with my yellow ring kind of close to the rough line with most of my orange ring in the rough, but not all of it. Another perfect ball. And we fire this thing down onto the green. Hey, I do hope this video is helping everybody. I hope you become a subscriber. I hope that you hit the thumbs up button before we go into hole number 9. Hey, and if you would like to become a member of our channel and join our exclusive Facebook chat, you can look in the description below to become a member. And what's really cool about my channel is part of my membership fees, I would say, they're monthly. It can be very small. It's up to you. There's 3 different levels, but part of the fees that I collect for that, I do donate to help animal shelters in my area. They are in big need due to COVID. They are not getting as many donations as they normally do. And then, I also send some donations to a company in Virginia that helps, support preservation for endangered species. So I'm a big animal person. If you would, if you have the funds to do so, if you'd like to become a member, you can join our chat. But it's more about doing some good for the world and for the animals. So I thought I'd put that plug in there. Look in the description below to become a member. Okay, here we go. Hole number 9. Now, I always say this. I know this shot's not for everybody. If you got good clubs, well, you don't have to have good clubs. You can do this with a berserker, or you could even do this with a kingmaker too. Now, if you want to do it with a kingmaker, you're going to be a little riskier because you're going to have to use overpower to clip this fairway and power through. But you can see my opponent up there. I believe they did this shot with an extra mile 7 and a kingmaker, but they were in overpower, and they did make it up there. If you're not comfortable with this, I showed you in the qualifying round a different approach to play this hole and a very safe approach. But for me, especially in the finals, we got to take some risk. We hit another perfect ball here, and this ball's going to do exactly what we want. We hit the area of the fairway we're looking for, we clip the rough, and we roll out. This is going to leave us with a grizzly shot for shot number 2. Now, you can play it with whatever club that you have, but you're going to see, how nice of a shot this looks like for an albatross. This is another one that I would like to get back, because we come dangerously close to dropping the albatross here. And, it would have been a game changer for me, had I dropped it, to get myself to a -15 and get myself, in the hunt for a top 10. But hopefully I have a very strong back 9 to get myself back into the hunt, because this is a -14 round, which is a pretty normal score for this tournament, since we can get to the green on hole 1 and hole number 8. Anyway, it's another perfect ball, so I'm happy with my timing this morning. This thing just comes in a little too hot, and just a little bit to the left-hand side. So you can learn from that shot right there. Best of luck, everybody. Let me know how you do in the comments. Thank you.